Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you could join me today. I hope everybody's doing well. Are you enjoying the beautiful fall colors? I certainly am. I love the gorgeous trees in my area. I went for a walk today and the skies were blue and the colors were so brilliant. I took tons of photos. I think the trees are extra colorful in my area this year for some reason. I think it has something to do with warm days and cool nights. I know there's some kind of chemical process that goes on in the leaves of trees, and when the weather is mild and it's sunny and the nights are cool, it promotes very colorful leaves. And as an artist, I love walking around when the trees are so colorful. I'm just mesmerized by it. I really am. One of my dreams is to go to New England because I believe they have very colorful trees up there. I know they have a lot of reds and purples. We do too, but not as many. We have a lot of yellows and oranges. But anyway, guys, I know you're not here to talk about the photosynthesis or the chemical reaction that happens in leaves. I know you're here for a tutorial, and we're going to be making that gorgeous necklace that you saw in the introduction. When I first saw those gorgeous verdigris pendants, I fell in love with them. I couldn't resist making that necklace. Now, it didn't happen right away. I had to sit down and look at the beads and the components for quite some time. And then I made a few sketches and I played around with the design a little bit, and that's what I came up with. I think if I were to add up the hours that I took designing that necklace, I have to say that it took me at least half a day. And it's mostly because I make prototypes when I design. I use aluminum wire, which is very soft and very easy to work with. And that's what I use in the design process, because one of my goals on this channel is to give you very nice tutorials, but I also want you to make jewelry that you can wear. Sometimes necklaces may look pretty, but when you put them on, they don't feel good or they don't hang well. And the only way you're going to find out how it feels or how it wears is if you make a prototype. And that's what I do every single time. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like designing on camera, because it does take me a little bit of time to come up with something pretty and something that's wearable. So anyway, guys, if you subscribe to the Curated Bead Box, you're in the right place because you already have the beads and components that you need to make that necklace. And if you don't subscribe, you're going to have to go out and do a search on Google, Amazon, or Etsy and look for similar items. You know that I always leave a list of all the materials down below in the description section of this video. You're just going to have to scroll down and look for it. If you expand where it says read more or something like that, you'll see it down below. The other thing that I like to leave down there are timestamps in case you want to skip forward to any portion of the video. But anyway, guys, like I said, we're going to be using beads from the Curated Bead Box for the month of October. The name of the box was Autumn. And if you're not familiar with Curated Bead Box, I'll leave a link to the website down below. If you don't have the beads and components, I don't think you'll have too much trouble, but there is one piece that's a little bit different. It's a pendant that has two loops, one at the top and one at the bottom facing forward. It's a little bit different and a little bit unusual, but I'm sure you can find something similar. My videos are here to inspire you and to help you get creative. But of course, if you have the same exact materials, the same beads and the components, then I'll be very happy if you make my design. I'll be very honored and very humbled. Now, before we get started, let me remind you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, because it really does help my channel and it helps me as a content creator to stay motivated to create more videos for you. Another thing that helps my channel is if you leave comments down below and give me a thumbs up. And another thing I want to remind you about is I'm on TikTok now, and one of my goals is to do some live streaming on TikTok. And the reason I want to do it on TikTok is because it has more functionality than Facebook or YouTube. For example, users can jump into a live stream and do simultaneous streaming along with the creator of that channel or that page. And I think that would be so much fun. But anyway, it has other functions that I'm very interested in. But I need 1,000 followers on TikTok. So if you hang out on that platform, please don't forget to stop by and say hello and follow my page. It's a completely different platform, guys. You know, I actually like it because it allows you to scroll through the videos very quickly. And so you don't have to watch every single one. And they're all very short videos. But I must say, I do love the live streaming. I think it's really wonderful. And I've seen a lot of creators on there. I've seen people making paintings. I've seen people doing all kinds of craft work. It's really a lot of fun and you should check it out. So anyway, guys, I'm very anxious to show you how to make this necklace. So let's go ahead and turn the camera around and we'll get started. And here we have Curated Bead Box for the month of October. As you can see, the name of the box is Autumn. Let's go ahead and select the beads. Unfortunately, we're not going to use the Finding Starter Kit, but we are going to use the two pendants that came in the box, as well as these frames and a whole bunch of beads. And these are actually what inspired the necklace. Let me show you. We have this beautiful patina leaf. I think it's absolutely stunning. I love it. And we also have this one here. Now, when I first saw this pendant, I noticed all the detail on the side that has the patina. This side doesn't have the patina, as you can see. But the other odd thing about this side is that it has a loop. And usually the loops are in the back of the pendant. But I think this is actually the front of the pendant. But I guess you could use it either way, like this or like this. It's up to you. I just think it's a little strange to have the loop in the front. Maybe it was intended for hanging a charm, which I am going to hang, but I also want to hang one of the strands from it. So anyway, we'll figure it out. And like I said, we will be using these beautiful frames. We're going to be using these 6mm size beads. I thought these were gorgeous. I love the color. We're also going to use these. I believe these are 8mm in size. And we're going to use the Tiger's Eye gemstone beads. These are 6mm in size. We're also going to use these beautiful copper. I think these are light copper, or they're light copper with some kind of a drizzle on top, as you can see. In any case, they're gorgeous. And these are 10mm in size. We're also going to use this strand of Green Aventurine, and I believe these are 10mm in size as well. And we're going to use a few beads from this strand. These are pretty small. They're 4mm in size, but we're only going to use maybe 4 of them. And that's it from this box. I'm going to be using some of these charm hangers. As you can see, they come in 6 different colors, and I actually got this on Amazon quite a while ago. I believe they measure 7mm, and the holes are maybe 4.5mm. The holes are pretty big, as you can see. You need something that has large holes like these. And I'm probably going to use this color here. Let me just pull one out and show you. As you can see, it has a loop, so you can hang a charm from that. So anyway, we're going to be using some of these. We're going to be using some bead caps as well. These are 8mm in size, and they're in an antique brass color. And these have 4 petals, as you can see, and some kind of a bumpy design on the surface. But any antique brass colored bead cap will do. We're going to be using some craft wire, and this is by Beading. It's 20 gauge, and the color is antique brass. And this is also German style wire, which means it's a little bit harder than other wires. But if you want to use 18 gauge, that's fine as well. It's up to you. I'm going to be using some very thin head pins, and these are ball head pins, as you can see. They're in an antique brass color, and these are perfect for making wrap loops, which is why I want to use them. I'm going to be using them on the 4mm beads, and I'm only going to need 4 of them. And here I have 3 jump rings and a lobster claw clasp. The jump rings are 6mm in size, and all of these items are in an antique brass color, as you can see. We're going to start by assembling the focal part of the necklace, and these are the items we're going to use. As you can see, I have the 2 patina pendants, I have 3 frames, I have 3 aventurine beads, and then I have the 6mm jump ring. Like I said, these are 10mm in size, and they fit perfectly within those frames. We're going to start by cutting some wire. It's a good idea to straighten your wire before you cut it off the spool. And I'm going to cut myself 3 2-inch pieces. We're not going to be doing wrap loops for this portion. We're going to be doing simple loops. Let me straighten this one out. This one's a little bit curved. So let me show you how we're going to do this. The first thing we're going to do is form a loop at this end. So I'm going to grab the wire about 3/8 to 1/2 inch down, and then just kink it like this. And now we're going to form a loop using some round nose pliers. So you want to grab the wire at the tip like this so that it's flush. Make sure you remember where you are on the pliers, because you're going to make all of your loops the same size. Once you have it there and it's flush, you're going to go ahead and form your loop. Make sure it's closed, just like that. Now this next part's a little tricky because you need to pick up the frame and the bead at the same time. Find the hole of the bead and then line it up with the holes of the frame. And now take your head pin and slide it through, just like this. And now I'm going to grab the wire right here at the top of the frame. Make sure there are no spaces at the other end, and then go ahead and kink it. Snip off the excess, leaving about 1/2 inch or whatever length you had at the other end. And now with your round nose pliers, you're going to grab the wire again so that it's flush and form a loop at this end. Make sure that it's nice and closed, just like that. The other thing you should try to do is to make sure your loops are lined up. So you want to grab the other one with another set of pliers like this and line them up. And this is what you should have. Pretty easy. So now I'm going to speed up the film and do these other 2. Okay, as you can see, I completed all 3. So now let's go ahead and connect all of these items. We're going to start by connecting the jump ring to this pendant here. Let me go ahead and open up the jump ring. And now I'm going to feed it through the loop. And now let me go ahead and close it. You want to make sure you close it really well. So now we've connected the jump ring, and now we're going to connect one of these components. So let me go ahead and open up this loop. I'm going to hook it onto the jump ring and close it up. And now I'm going to link these two together. So this is what we have so far. And you don't necessarily have to connect these in this order, guys. You can connect them however you want. But let me go ahead and move things in place so you can see what we're doing. We're going to connect this leaf to this component, and then these two components are going to be connected to the jump ring. So let me go ahead and do that. So that's what we have so far, and now let's connect this leaf to this component. So this is what we have so far, and there's only one other thing I need to do. I need to switch these loops so that they're perpendicular. And that's very easy to do. You just grab the loops like this and turn them. And let me show you why we did that. It's to do with the orientation of the loop on this pendant. I know it's a little difficult to see, but this loop needs to be horizontal so that it connects properly to this pendant. And this one needs to be vertical so that it connects to the jump ring. I hope that makes sense. So now that we've completed the focal part of the necklace, we're going to move on to the main strand. Let me go ahead and put this away for the time being. Here are the beads we're going to be using for the strand. As you can see, I also have some bead caps. And we're basically going to be building 3 different kinds of components. One of them is going to have these 6mm beads. And I want to show you something, guys. I don't know if you can see the hole. It's missing the paint near the hole. And because of that, we're going to put these in the middle of a 3-beaded component. So we're going to have this bead in the middle and these 2 on either side of it. So anyway, we're going to build about 10 of those components. And this bead has the same issue. As you can see, it's missing the paint right by where the hole is. And so we're going to be using bead caps on these. And these glass beads are okay like that, so I'm not going to use any bead caps on them. Let me go over the colors and the size real quick. These are the Tiger's Eye beads, and they're 6mm in size. These are also 6mm in size, and the color is apple with a light copper wash. These are 10mm in size, and as you can see, they're a light copper color with a little bit of drizzled paint on the surface. And these are the duo style glass beads in a yellow/gray color. And I went ahead and cut myself some wire. These are 1.5 inch pieces, and this is the 20 gauge wire. So let me show you how to make the first component. It's the same thing, guys. We're going to make simple loops. So you want to kink the wire at the top like this. Grab the end with your round nose pliers so that it's flush. Form a loop. Make sure it's closed. And now we're going to thread on one of these Tiger's Eye beads. And then one of these apple colored beads. And another Tiger's Eye bead. Like this. Once again, we're going to grab the wire at the top of the bead, kink it, cut off the excess, grab the wire with your round nose pliers, make sure it's flush, and form a loop. Make sure you line up your loops so they're facing the same direction, and that's the first beaded component. Let me just organize my beads a little bit. Let me show you the next beaded component. This time we're going to thread a bead cap. And then the bead. And then another bead cap. Like this. And once again, we're going to go ahead and kink it, cut off the excess, and form a loop. Straighten out your loops, and here's your next beaded component. Let me show you the next one. Like I said, this one's not going to need a bead cap. And this is your third beaded component. Let me just go ahead and organize everything so you can see what I've done. These are the 3 components we're going to build, and we're going to build 4 of these duo-style glass bead components, 5 of these with a copper finish, and we're going to build 10 of these. So to save time on this video, I'm going to go ahead and speed up the film. You'll still be able to see the process, but it'll just be sped up. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back. As you can see, I've completed all of the beaded components, and now all we have to do is connect everything. But before we connect them, we need to create some dangles that are going to hang off the stem of this pendant. And I've already created 3 of them ahead of time to save time. As you can see, it's one of these charm holders with a 4mm bead hanging from the loop. And I want a total of 4 of them, so now I'm going to make the 4th one and show you how to do it. Here's a charm holder. Here's a 4mm bead. And here's a ball head pin. And this is super easy, guys. We're just going to thread the bead onto the ball head pin like this. I'm going to grab the pin at the top of the bead like this, kink it, switch to this portion of my pliers, and wrap the tail around the nose of the pliers, flip the pliers around, continue to wrap to the back, remove the pliers. So this is what you should have. And now we're going to connect it to the charm holder. So I'm going to slide the loop of the charm holder into the loop of the beaded component like this. And now with some skinny pliers, I'm going to grab the loop. And with another set of pliers, I'm going to grab the tail. And I'm going to do some wraps. And you can do as many wraps as you want to. I think I'm going to do 3. Cut off the excess. And you definitely want to tuck in any sharp ends. So here are my 4 charms. So now that we have the 4 charms, we're going to go ahead and slide them onto this pendant, and that's very easy to do. You simply slide them on like this. As you can see, they fit really nicely. And I think they look really nice because they'll pick up the color from the tiger's eye beads. So now to keep them in place, we're going to connect one of these components. Let me go ahead and open up the loop. And we're simply going to hook it onto this loop here, like that. And close up the loop. And this is what we have so far. So now we're going to connect these in a specific order. We have a 10mm copper bead with the bead caps. We have a 3 beaded component, then the duo style glass bead, another 3 beaded component, and then another copper bead. And we're going to repeat the same pattern until we get to the clasp. Now on this side it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to start by connecting a 3-beaded component. Let me just move this down a little bit so you can see better. And then one of these. Another one of these 3-beaded components. And then a copper bead. A 3-beaded component. A duo style bead. I know it's difficult to see. I don't have a lot of room here. I'm trying to keep within the frame. But anyway, I think you get the idea. It's the same exact pattern that I did on this side, but since this is an asymmetrical necklace, I started the pattern with a different component on this side, if that makes any sense. But it's the same exact pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and connect all of these components, and then I'll show you the whole thing once I get done. Now that I've finished connecting everything, let me go ahead and arrange my necklace. It's a little difficult to fit the whole thing within the frame of the camera, but let me go ahead and move my camera up and down so you can see the whole thing. There's the top. I think it's really cute. And there's the bottom. So now all we have to do is attach the clasp. I have a lobster claw clasp and 2 jump rings, and this is very easy to do. I know some of you already know how to do this, but I'm showing those viewers who are beginners. I know I probably have quite a few watching this video. We're going to hook it onto the loop of the component. And now let me connect the lobster claw clasp. Close up the jump ring. Let's go ahead and open up this jump ring now. This side's just going to have the jump ring. I think it's absolutely adorable, and I want to arrange it on my board in a few moments, but I want to measure it first before I do that. So let me go ahead and measure it and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I measured it and it measures 20 inches. It's a little bit too long for me because I have a very small frame, but I'll probably end up selling it. I'll probably list it on Etsy. But anyway, guys, as you can see, it turned out pretty nice. And even though it's an asymmetrical necklace, we ended with a 3-beaded component at the end, so I'm pretty happy about that. And it actually took me a while to figure this pattern out. It didn't just happen by chance. But you know, whenever you design something, it's always trial and error, and you just have to keep practicing and keep rearranging things until you get it right. So anyway, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I was a little bit nervous about this pendant here until I figured out that I could hang some charms on the stem, and I think it really dresses it up. But let me go over the bead pattern with you again. We have a 10mm light copper bead with bead caps. We have a 3-beaded component with 2 tiger eye beads on either side of the apple colored bead, and all 3 are 6mm. Then we have this 8mm duo style glass bead, and then another 3-beaded component, and then we repeated the pattern again until we got to the clasp. On this side we started with a 6mm 3-beaded component, then the duo style glass bead, then another 3-beaded component, and then the copper bead, and so on. So anyway, guys, as always, I'd like to go ahead and model the necklace for you. Let me go ahead and put it on and I'll meet you back. Don't you love this necklace? I absolutely love it. It's a little bit longer than I normally wear, but it actually looks nice with this dress. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep it yet. I think I'll either give it away or put it on my Etsy store. I have to decide. I actually have a lot of necklaces that are accumulating that I need to list, but I have to find the time to do it. It takes time to list on Etsy, it really does. Those of you who have an Etsy store, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I hope I've inspired you. I hope you have the same components so you can make the same necklace. If not, you're going to have to compromise and come up with something that's similar. I'm sure you can do it. So anyway, thank you for joining me today. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.